Okay, so in our efforts to be the most helpful, friendly, and expert company out there, we want to get the updated plan of care expectations, at least as of today, March 31st, 2020, into your hands so that you can, in your efforts to, in writing the new plans of care according to DDD's updated expectations, can get those done in as expedient a manner as possible. A couple of guidelines before we jump in to look at the care plan that I've already created here for our test patient. I want to make sure that you are aware that DDD's expectations are that these plans of care must be thorough. They must have all of the information in there, and we'll go through that as I show you the plan of care that I've created. Also, when creating a new plan of care, it cannot contain the same goals as last year's plan of care. You need to have new goals. We've all been told that this will be a grounds for clinical review, which will slow the process down or suspend therapy. Some of those goals may be the same, but if a child did not meet a goal, DDD is looking for documentation to explain why. One of the reasons DDD has gone to this new system was because too many therapists kept the same goals year after year and submitted poor documentation. Also, every section of the plan of care must be filled out, and we'll go over that here in just a minute also. All DDD clients must have a home plan on this plan of care. It must be in there, and I will review where that should go, and in here in just a second. All right, so as you can see, we got a whole bunch of these evaluations and care plans done for test a patient by people who have been testing it out. I am Tony Harapist, our test therapist. This is the evaluation I've created and the care plan that I created based on that. This care plan is actually copied and pasted from one of our therapists' plans of care that they recently submitted, and thank you for that. This is a great example. As we reviewed it, we felt this was something that could be used very well to give an example as to what is expected in a plan of care. All right, so you'll notice you'll have everything up here. The physician needs to be filled out. The address of the physician needs to be filled out. Diagnosis needs to be correct. If the diagnosis is incorrect, you've got to go back to the evaluation and correct it in the evaluation and then redo a plan of care with that correct diagnosis. Current level of function. Make sure this is accurate. Make sure it's thorough and written out very professionally and well. Progress to date. If you've seen this kiddo for 6 months or more, make sure that this progress to date is filled out and is quite detailed so that someone reading it can see, oh yeah, I can see that there's some progress being made. Frequency of visits, make sure that's filled out. And I'm going to come up here and open up the edit panel so you can see all of the things here. Rehabilitation potential, fill that out. If there's any comments that you want to make with that, make sure you fill it out here. Frequency of visits, fill out. If it's 1 time a week, do 1 time. If it's 2 times a week, make sure you do that. With 2 times a week, you will need more goals and more detail in this, or they will automatically be denied. With procedures, you can leave this one blank for now, it appears. If that changes, we'll let you know. But in modalities, put in individual or group therapy, whatever it is, and whatever modalities you're working on. In this one, expressive language therapy and receptive language therapy, for example. Any other comments you feel are necessary right there. Goals, make sure that they are appropriate goals, that they are goals that someone who is licensed and certified and educated and trained like yourselves are the ones that need to be implementing these goals as much as possible. If they are simple goals, we have had examples where DDD has sent them back and said, hey, a habilitation provider can do this. We don't need the hour of therapy, or if 2 hours of therapy were requested, a habilitation provider could do these. So make sure that they are worded in a manner that you as a licensed, certified, and trained professional are the ones that are making sure that these get implemented to the best of your abilities. Fill out equipment required. Patient education. I mean, something simple like this is adequate. Family caregiver education. This is the home program. Make sure that this is a nice, good home program. This is a make it or break it piece of the plan of care. If it's not included, they will automatically send it back and say these hours are not approved. Make sure that's in there. And then any coordination of treatment with other services, other providers, as mentioned up here, this kiddo was also getting home-based OT in addition to the speech. So make sure you put that in there and what collaboration is being done or whatever. And then you sign it and save it. And once it's signed and saved and ready to go, please reach out to Valerie via email and say, hey, the plan of care for member's name is done. Please send it on to where it needs to go. All right, I think that's about it. We really do appreciate the great work you're doing. Please continue doing that. Press forward, be well, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.